Hello, greetings. Those following me and who are interested in my case and my findings, the way I go on. So for them and myself, for the record, going to make this, going to discuss in this very challenging, extremely challenging things, beliefs and all, what I've learned. So I might lose it. See, I have this fear of today I can say it properly. Maybe the next moment I might lose what I wanted to say properly. So even though I can prepare myself, but since I went insane, driven insane, I don't write notes or study anymore. I can't study. Too much stress in my mind. Trauma and all, so can't write a book either. Sorry about the background sound. Can't pause here either. At times I just want to quickly. So I asked smileys on the page once because posting something against Prophet Muhammad and Imam Hussein and the religion, my religion, during Muharram, on their post, a smiley post. I dared. So I asked them to come and, let's have a discussion or something. We had it there, but he didn't join me on the live stream, on my Facebook live stream. I invited him. And then I had this feeling, so I couldn't properly speak to him. I don't know if I can share I've shared the smiley page information that I needed on my Facebook. Oh, so all this, the smileys have a great, they have a greater material and a present Imam who is not in occultation, but our Shia 12er Imam is in occultation. Now, this is extremely challenging because the Ismailis believe that Imam Ali, before Imam Ali, they have some material also on Sri Krishna and Sri Rama. So I started to look at Imam Ali's all this from our the 12 Shias also have this narrations, the books, they're authentic books, narrations from imams we have compiled and all this. And so some of the books the Ismailis quote from, and since one thing that they quote from the same Quran ayat, if they give a Quran ayat, so Imam, Hazir Imam, the respected Hazir Imam, has said that he's the sole interpreter of the Quran, but that the Quran should not have been in written form. However, then why it must be for knowledge or something that at times some ayats from the Quran are quoted in their material. Whereas we Shias, we share the same Quran that the Sunni Muslims, majority of Muslims share, written. We take it as the written Quran, and we share the same Quran as the Sunni Muslims. So, and our sole interpreter is the 12th Imam, who is in occultation. The point here, the main things here are that, so Imam Ali's sayings in our books, Shia books, that I am this and I am that. But how do we know that Imam Ali was the one? How do we know that it wasn't Abu Sufyan at that time, Imam Ali's adversary, Muawiyah and Abu Sufyan? Because on one side that our Quran, I don't know whether the Ismailis take that idol, killing of idolaters and smashing their idols. I mean, isn't there a better way of doing it? Like Jiddu Krishnamurti, he says there's no authority, but since we all know we need authority, but we also need proof of that authority beyond doubt, beyond reasonable doubt. And how that authority leader should be, not a ruler, but a leader. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah. So, how that leader should be, but Jiddu Krishnamurti says that as friends we're discovering as friends, not as leaders who are authority which is vouchsafed by God, and it becomes very complicated. So we want to show the people inside themselves, right? Like what I came to, with due respect to the Ismaili side, Ismaili Shias and their Imam, before you put anything forward outside, from the outside, you need to bring it inside the person, right? This is proof inside. So this is what I was thinking of. Like if you say Jannat, heaven, like this, and you describe, and I'm the authority, and the laws, and these are the sacred divine laws. And Ismaili Imam says, no, don't say the divine laws. So it becomes very complicated, to follow this whole thing, unless it is inside. Like I had to search for myself, okay, these moral values, ethical values, objective values, whatever now the objective morals they call it, and all this. Where do all these things come from? Well, where also the right to live and the right to protect life, and where in the natural law is it, natural law system? Is it the nature? Have to probe deep into nature, into myself, to find out. We have a defense mechanism. Life wants to live, but then there are certain things which die and get hurt, like Anna said in her Mr. God, This Is Anna book by Finn. So how do we know that God really cares for us? And how much importance should we give to ourselves, human beings? And so from the mind or from the heart, and where does everything meet, and so much conflict we can just reduce or evase or just get rid of. So we can find one thing which is without conflict. The mind is very complicated. We'll have to be scientists. Even scientists haven't found. They say that we only use how much, like some percentage, 5% or 2%, 2% of our mind. So it gets very complicated. We haven't found the rest of our mind or brain, which in use is thought, process, and then mind. So it gets very complicated. Now I've gone too far. Going back to leader, imamat, prophet, laws. Again, you see what we have done is to show from the scriptures. When you're writing, scriptures are sacred. Proof is required. That's why this, with proof, scripture written in written form, and then in the personal truth or universal truth, which you can prove to another. For example, Rasulullah we say went for Maraj. What's it called? This Maraj thing, ascension to meet God. So he alone went, right? And if he had taken, if like a Hindu side, for example, they say you can also be God realized and reach God through this going inside and traveling inside, but being still and all this. So they have another way, right? Method. We have this method that if you pray, if you follow, no, if you follow these rules, you will get there. So Rasulullah did the same thing, told us. But there's one word I can't find which in this way, my way, Rasulullah's way, when I was a Muslim, I felt this was very unfair. Hindu way is that it's not unfair because you don't go killing, this is bad, this, like, it's demarcated. We also like discriminate. We say this is very strict. So that thought comes in, of like, how can we believe in Rasulullah being the true prophet? The stricter the religion is, the more strict that religion is. You'll see that one day when you start to use your mind to doubt it, it will hit you like hard. This is my way of saying it. It's not a very good way, but I just, if someone could say it in other words. So the Hindu way, why I say that, okay, they also have a method of reaching God realization without at first knowing if there is a God or not. Even Hindus have failed to prove there is a God, right? To the atheists, and we can see now very much so on YouTube, and so social media being so popular and so available. So the thing is that, the Hindu way is when someone tells you that there's a God, you do this, and you just sit and you will. It's Shiva came and taught, and yes, and things like that. But Shiva, okay, they say that there's one God, but no, three gods, and this and that. But we don't. They don't say go kill if. Their thing, scripture is entirely, maybe some of it is strict, like Manu laws, but most of it from the Mahabharata, it's like Arabic, Persian book. So, I'm sorry, so Mahabharata or Vedas or this doesn't make you want to question, like, does God exist? Or, no, how do I know that you are a true God? Okay, you even question that. But then they tell you in a very logical, very polite, very soft manner. So that authority is not imposed so hard on you. They're very lenient. They didn't even actually show that they were gods. And I don't know the Hindu ways. So the Hindu has a way of reaching God realization, ascension to God. And Prophet Muhammad had a way. But Prophet Muhammad and his lineage took it all. And so we are told that no one can go to that Maraj which this prophet went to. Right? And like Krishna, okay, Krishna agreed that Krishna also was Krishna, God. And they all worship him, those who believe in him. Worship him, the bhaktis and bhaktas or bhakts. sorry, whatever you call them, and I'm not very familiar with this still, and my memory and my condition due to that. So forgive me. And I know the Hindus will, because they're very open-minded people. But not to take advantage of that too much, they've been through. Demonize them. Okay, suppose if it was. So we thought that Rasulullah cared so much so, that he made it very, very strict for us. Like you wouldn't throw your child in the fire, would you? So the hereafter fire, you don't even know. We don't even know about the hereafter. Imam Ali has said it doesn't even reach our imagination. When I'm quoting Imam Ali now, I'm getting this resistance because I don't know. Maybe Abu Sufyan. Maybe it was all stolen from the Umayyad. So now I question this. To the Ismaili, anyone, Dr. Anil, Dr. what am I saying? Anil Kapoor. No, sorry, I don't mean to make fun of Bollywood actor. Dr. Khalil Andani or someone from the Ismailis. Explain to me all this. So we can, even the Ismailis would quote this, Imam Jafar Sadiq saying, we don't know how to, oh wait a minute. Okay, so this much I had to say that it is extremely challenging. I don't know how Abdullah Gondal brought, the way they've brought up the errors in the Quran. I could not think. It's their genius and their courage. So when I find, probably this will be like 2, 3, 10 years after, I'm a very slow person. To say this properly, to dare. And about my idol worshipping, am I suffering because I'm Radharani? I keep questioning my gurus and master. I keep questioning. And the world has not recognized my love. When I was in Karachi American School, I mean, you could say there are lesbians and I could be lying about my feelings for Mr. Sa also. So, okay, something now that just doesn't. Like I took this Imam Ali's thing, they were comparing the Ismailis. I found there that Sri Krishna and Imam Ali sound alike. But what if it was Abu Sufyan, and what was the other point I made here? At this I am this, and I am the first, and I am the last. What if all these people played around with the I am? Yeah, so I've gone, there's a lot here, Facebook, my profile. So what if the I am, we call the Isma Azam, the greatest name of Allah, and the Jews, they know this is the greatest name. And Yahweh is, like, for us it is the greatest name of Allah, I am. So ancient Greek knowledge stolen by our Imam. This is what I've said here on my Facebook. And before, also, you see, I'll be talking about this more in detail. Step by step we'll go. He was the first to have said that the rays, I'm just reading from the middle of the quote here about this rays of light. The rays of the light from different objects come to our eyes and enable us to see them. The rays of light from our eyes do not go out, and fall on other objects. Otherwise, we would be able to see them in the darkness also. So there's the darkness, and the darkness is, we would have been able to see them in the darkness also. Okay, this much I don't know, I'm confused here. So he was the first to have said that the rays of the light from different objects come to our eyes. Or is it just the light? I thought it was just the light outside that made us see. If you put the light off, then we can't see objects and all that in pitch darkness. But this is interesting to ponder over, and this what is this blog has shared on Mr. God. This is Anna going down to here it is. Okay, so it's Rene Farrar, a reflection slash reflexy. Back here. So this is the site. I wish I could, I should have shared the site's address here, link below comment section on YouTube, but I haven't. No, I have. In one video, have I? Okay, this person, she's read, or they've read this book and they're sharing their thoughts and also quoting from this book. Mr. God, this is Anna. The Unseen Allah. So this I need to find out. I have to get my glasses. So it's very, very challenging. Oh. Unless you really know about the rays, and I thought the light eyes can see because neither can, isn't it the outside light? That we depend on, and not even the object. So, okay, shall I keep this thing here and move that? Okay, here, this Rene Farrar blog.wordpress.com. I'm going to read this part where it says about the light spin-offs. So you see, like this, I could be going like a pendulum, round and round, or this way and the left, right, my 12er Shia, Ismaili Shia. Ismaili Shia has a very, very big challenge for me. Not because I want to believe in it, but like, what is this? Who to believe in? So I don't think I've properly said this. Authority, Jiddu Krishnamurti said that not to believe in authority blindly, like we need, thank God it came. We need proof of that authority, right? So how do we know? So Rasulullah used highest power, and then all the gnosis and mysteries and all that. How can we tell? But then he could have he could have said, because the Quran is, we needed, with the Quran, we needed Rasulullah. So later on, again, we needed someone who knows this weighty knowledge to give us all the spiritual light and all the things that Rasulullah taught us, and be like a mother, like a friend, and keep feeding us with this, the next generations and generations to come. Generations. Oh, give me some water. Oof. So yes, authority with proof that these laws are divine. So now, since I'm not an Ismaili Shia, and they won't take me because Imam says you have to have very polite and certain conduct. Oh, I don't want to. If it's the truth, then God bring me to this. Okay, there's so much bombardment in my head, and yet the restlessness, compulsion to share, the passion to share. I might go wrong somewhere, and I'll be correcting myself. And I'm haphazardly going. Okay, so here, what did I not understand, or you? At the end of I'm reading now from the book, Mr. God, this is Anna from this blog. At the end of her first summer with Finn, she made two startling discoveries: seeds and writing. Mr. God went up about 10 points in her estimation with regards to these seeds, as she said, "Ain't Mr. God wonderful?" Anna's pride in Mr. God grew and grew to such dimensions that in some idiot moment Finn wondered if Mr. God ever went pink with pleasure. Whatever feelings people have had about Mr. God over the many centuries, Finn was very sure of one thing: nobody has ever liked Mr. God more than Anna. Finn showed Anna the colors of the spectrum with the aid of a prism. We'll have to do this experiment. He explained to her that the yellow flower absorbed all the colors of the spectrum, with the exception of yellow, which was reflected back to the viewer. Anna had digested this bit of information for a while and then had come back with, "Oh, yellow is the bit it didn't want. So its real color is all the bits it do want." All these bits of information had been taken in by Anna, mixed with various bits of colored glass, shaken well, and worked into her particular framework. It seemed that each and every individual was issued at birth with various bits of glass labeled good, bad, nasty, etc. People got into the habit of slipping these bits of glass over their inward eye and seeing things according to the color and label of the glass in order to justify their inner convictions. Now, Mr. God was a bit different from a flower. A flower that didn't want the yellow light was called yellow by us because that is what we saw. So that means that God, what we see, and the flower has this yellow color because it doesn't want this yellow color. And so we see it as yellow. And you couldn't say the same thing about Mr. God. Mr. God wanted everything. He's self-sufficient, right? And in the Quran we are told Mr. God wanted everything. He's self-sufficient. So, what's the other word? Allah, there's no God but He. The self-sufficient, the Qaim. Oh God, how could I forget my Ayatul Kursi? English translation. Allah, there's no God but He. The living, the self-subsisting. Okay, so what is this thing of self-subsisting? Now I'm losing my strength, so I'll be subsisting. Maintain or support oneself, especially at a minimal level. So like that, he's a ever-living, self-subsisting, at the minute, maintain itself. So he didn't reflect anything back. Mr. God wanted everything. So like Imam Hussain says, he's needless, and Quran's some like he's all aware, all seeing. Vision does not. Vision does not perceive him, but all visions. No, vision does not perceive him. Ayat. Vision does all visions, but he perceives. Let's see how it is written. But he perceives all visions. Perceives all visions. Then we will see whether in some other, whether Abu Sufyan or Imam, that's like, I couldn't make out who is stolen from whom, right? Quran ayat. It's very frustrating. Quran verse. Surah Al-An'am. No vision can comprehend him. See why we cannot see him? And he comprehends all visions. And he is absolutely subtle, all aware. Oops. Now it's taken me to it has taken me to the verse. Surah Anam, verse 103. 103. No vision can comprehend him, and he comprehends all visions. And he is absolutely subtle, all aware. Let's see in Arabic. Not can grasp him. The visions. But he can grasp all the visions. And he is the all subtle and all aware. That's right. Absolutely subtle and all aware. You can put it in other words. The translation. He is ever kind and ever cognizant. This is Dr. Ghali. All subtle and all aware. Abdul Halim. No vision can take him in, but he takes in all vision. Oops, your battery's low. Okay, so another phone of mine, tab of mine, the battery's low. Okay, wait, no vision can take him in. Please bear with me, it's so overwhelming. But he takes in all vision. Shall I show you this? Dr. Abdul Halim's translation. No vision can take him in, but he takes in all vision. He's the all subtle, the all aware. So here in this blog, Rene Farrar blog.wordpress.com with the Mr. God. This is Anna book, quotes and explanation, some quotes from the book. So all vision, and so you couldn't say the same thing about Mr. God. Mr. God wanted everything, so he didn't reflect anything back. Therefore, we couldn't possibly see him, could we? So as far as we are concerned, so far as we were able to understand what Mr. God was, we simply had to admit that Mr. God was quite empty. Not empty because there was truly nothing there, but empty because he accepted everything, because he wanted everything and did not reflect anything back. Of course, you could cheat if you wanted to. You could wear your bit of colored glass marked Mr. God is loving, or the bit marked Mr. God is kind. But then, these are the attributes we say, right? Those names of God. Al-Wadudo, loving kindness. We have from the Quran, Al-Wadud, Wadud, loving kindness. Mr. God is loving, or the bit marked Mr. God is kind. But then, of course, we miss the whole essence of God. You would miss the whole, so here the book says, you would miss the whole nature of Mr. God. Just imagine. So before I go on, Imam Ali in his Najil Balagha said, what has he said? If you follow just the attributes, then you've divided God. And so we come to this. Oh. Okay, so I was a little bit resentment towards, I had a bit of a thing against Imam Ali. So that's why in my last video on this, I did not mention Imam Ali and Najil Balagha's, in Najil Balagha what he says. If you take the attributes, then you've divided him. Like loving, kindness, wadud, that we are given in the Quran. So then what do we do? But then Anna explains here. You see? The color. Oh God, look at that innocence of a child. She doesn't have an agenda. So, excuse me, sorry. But then, of course, you would miss the whole nature of Mr. God. Just imagine what kind of an object, in brackets, object, because he can't be an object. See, this is what Imam, oh God, no, don't let me say that. Mr. God, so continuing, Mr. God must be if he accepts everything and reflects absolutely nothing back. Let's not get excited, Sarah. This means, so just imagine what kind of an object Mr. God must be. If he accepts everything, then he wouldn't be an object, would he? To be perceived by the eyes, through the help of the light, and the eyes, and the object. Three things would be needed: eyesight, object, and light. Mr. God must be, so just imagine, and just imagine. Can we imagine this? Can this come in our imagination? Emptiness. Can emptiness come in our imagination? Because Imam Ali has said, there's a saying, how is it that the hereafter does not come in your imagination? Just imagine what kind of an object Mr. God must be. If he accepts everything and reflects absolutely nothing back, empty. This, said Anna, is being a real God, undivided. Right? What Imam Ali has told us in Najl Balagha. If you take the attributes of God alone, you would divide him, and then his oneness, his essence, his true nature, what the way Imam Ali has said it, and this innocent girl, little girl, 4 years old or something, Mr. God, or 6 years old, I don't know, has explained it so well, without an agenda, without anything. Just imagine what kind of an object Mr. God must be if he accepts everything and reflects absolutely nothing back. This, said Anna, is being a real God. This is what we were being asked to do. Throw away our pieces of colored glass and see clearly. So I got the meaning. I mean, Anna has explained it. Now it's for me to realize all this evidence, how God cannot be seen, and attributes given to him that he's not even those attributes. Imam Ali has explained that, but here Anna has explained with the light and all this, the theory of this light and reflection of the light. And then we've come to this. So that's why attributes, forget the attributes, get the real God. Get the real God. So Mr. God is now empty. Not empty. So as far as we are concerned, so as far as we were able to understand what Mr. God was, we simply had to admit that Mr. God was quite empty. Not empty because there was truly nothing there, but empty because he accepted everything, because he wanted everything, and he did not reflect anything back. Cheat a little by colored glass, giving attributes to God. Mr. God is loving, Mr. God is kind, Ya Wadudo. Then of course you would miss the whole nature of Mr. God. Just imagine what kind of an object Mr. God must be if he accepts everything and reflects absolutely nothing back. This, said Anna, is being a real God. That is the true nature of God, right? This is what we were being asked to do. Throw away our pieces of colored glass and see clearly. So I'll be going in depth in this again and, discussing whatever I can find and understand from it. I'll come back to share. Thank you so much. Okay, for now, I need to go.